This is an SWX Nonstop Local sports presentation. The University of Idaho Vandals take on the Northern Colorado Bears. Powered by Inland Power and Light, SWX College Football starts right now.
College football on SWX is presented by Inland Power and Light Company, powering our communities since 1937. Welcome out to Moscow, Idaho, for a Big Sky Conference battle on homecoming for the Idaho Vandals, who welcome the Northern Colorado Bears to the Kibbie Dome. And welcome to our broadcast of college football here. Noah Schmick alongside Adam Shackelford. And Coach, we've got two teams, same record, 2 wins and 3 losses, but both very different stories. I think the thing we've got to talk about, though, is the quarterback situation, especially for the Idaho Vandals.
Yeah, today Josh Meadows out. Looks like won't play today. I think that gives Northern Colorado a chance in this football game. A little bit different offense than you've seen over the years from Northern Colorado. They're throwing the football around with their quarterback and a couple of nice receivers. I think it's going to make for an interesting matchup in the Big Sky.
Joshua Wood is out. Jack Wagner is in for the Vandals. It's going to be a fun matchup. We're excited to see who comes out on top on homecoming. It's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to a competitive homecoming battle. And when we are about to get things started here, kickoff just about 20 seconds away. Coach, for Northern Colorado, these Bears, they like to throw the ball a lot, and they're going to get the ball first. Are we going to be seeing that probably here on the first drive?
Well, Eric Gibson Jr. last week, 396 yards through the air. His main target, number 3, Carver Cheeks, a young man who has been very productive for them. If they can protect him today, I think they have a chance to get the ball downfield. A lot of injuries today for the Vandals. Going to be an interesting football game.
All right, well, we're just about set for kickoff here in the P1 ASUI-Kibbie Dome. This is a place where the Vandals have not lost in a long, long time. They also have not played here in a long time. It's been about a month since the Vandals have been back here in Moscow. And let me tell you, the homecoming crowd is making some noise here in the Kibbie Dome. We are just about set here. We've got Owen Forsman kicking off for the Vandals. Back deep to return for Northern Colorado is number 23, and we'll have to try and get you a name here on that one. But this is going to be a fun one here in Moscow. Things are getting going. Head coach Ed Lamb for the Northern Colorado Bears. He is in his 3rd season, and he has really turned around this Bears team. And actually, he was an assistant on the Idaho coaching staff back in 2002, 2003, and he knows all about playing here in Moscow. So we are about set to kick things off. Head coach Thomas Ford Jr. ready to go, and we are underway. Kickoff by Owen Forsman will go out of bounds, and the Bears will set up shop at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, once again, you know, showing off the power in his leg is Aaron Forsman. I look for him today to maybe be that long-range field goal kicker. Might see a couple different kickers we're hearing today from the Idaho Vandals.
Eric Gibson Jr. is the quarterback under center for the Bears. You're going to see them kind of in a multiple system on offense. They'll do a lot of motioning, a lot of trying to keep the space open in kind of a spread offense. So we've got Eric Gibson Jr. To his right is Matthias Price. And right off the bat, a little jet sweep out to the left side, but it is stopped for just about no gain. Isaiah King on the tackle.
Yeah, Isaiah King, a preseason Big Sky young man from San Diego, California. He's got an NFL frame and NFL ability. A lot of people are going to be watching this young man play football this year.
Bears looking to throw, deep throw, right side of the field, and it is caught. And the cornerback for the Vandals looked like he lost his footing, but a big gain for Northern Colorado into Vandals territory.
Well, that's the young man we talked about, Carver Cheeks, number 3. This is the main target for Eric Gibson Jr. We're going to see a lot of attempts between those two today, and a very good start for Northern Colorado on offense.
Quick, big explosive play for Northern Colorado, and they run that no huddle. They are already to the line and ready to go at about the 37-yard line. Gibson hands it off, and the running back will get about 8 yards on the carry.
Yeah, nice run. Good running backs, sign of good running backs in college football and even in the NFL are the yards after contact. And that time, he gets met at about the 33-yard line. He drives forward for about 2.5, 3 extra yards down to the 30.
Justin Gwynn, the one who ran that ball for the Bears this time. You'll see a whole bunch of different running backs for Northern Colorado. Here's Gibson Jr. Drop back, quick throw out, and good coverage there. Idaho able to make sure that was an incomplete pass, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, that time trying to sneak the running back out into the flat. Just a really nice job by the front side corner. Staying his responsibility, covering the flat with zone coverage, so he doesn't have a man. He's just going to cover an area. It's nice discipline by the Idaho Vandal defense.
All right, 3rd and 2 in Vandals territory. Gibson Jr. going to clap his hands and change things. 2 receivers to his left. He's going to look to his right, and the Vandal defensive line not able to get to him, and he's going to get the 1st down.
Well, this is a no-huddle offense, but a lot of times you hear no-huddle, you automatically think hurry up. But this no-huddle offense is a little different. They have the ability to be hurry up if they need to, but they're going to come to the line and let the defense get set. And then they're going to either keep the play on or they're going to change it. I think they changed the play this time. They saw Carver Cheeks down here in a one-on-one coverage. They changed the play, and Idaho does a really good job of adjusting their coverage late to make the change as well.
So Gibson Jr. all alone in the backfield, but he will motion over the running back, Carson Keach. Keach will go out in the passing game. Gibson trying to look. Good pressure from the Vandals defensive line.
Well, this is a really big offensive line for Northern Colorado. Not a lot of senior leadership. They have 2 seniors on that offensive line, but they are big up front. I would look for Idaho, who I think has a very good front 7, especially front 4 with their defensive line, to use their speed and quickness to try to get pressure on the quarterback today.
Some good defensive pressure brings up 2nd and 10. Idaho Vandals in their own territory. Gibson Jr. fakes the handoff, going to throw it to the left side. It is caught. Did he get to the 1st down marker? They're going to say he's just short.
Yeah, Braden Monroe, number 1 there with a nice slant. Really nice timing route. Well thrown by Eric Gibson Jr. here. Just a 3-step drop. DB playing off coverage a little bit. Nice timing route by Northern Colorado.
Brings up 3rd down. 3rd and manageable after that slant play. We'll see what Northern Colorado decides to do. They've got 3 wide receivers to the right of Gibson Jr. and a running back in the backfield. Quick throw over to the right side. It is caught and brought down enough for a 1st down by Carver Cheeks.
Yeah, that time a bunch set. And you may ask why. Why do offenses use a bunch set? A lot of times you can dictate coverage from the defense when you get into either empty sets or bunch sets. By bunch, I mean they have 3 receivers within about a 5-yard box. You see a lot of screens out of that. You see a lot of runs to the other side out of that. But it really can dictate to the defense kind of what you want to do.
So 1st and 10 here for Northern Colorado at about the Vandal 13. Gibson Jr. going to pitch it outside. Quick pitch, and the Bears running back will get about 4 or 5 yards. Bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that big offensive line, they're going to look to them today. Yes, they are throwing the football very well this year, but here they see, it's called a pen and pull play where you're just going to block back with 2 linemen and then pull 2 linemen and try to outflank the defense. A nice run there on 1st down.
That was Curious Boone, the running back. And this time they will slant him out to the left side. So 4 wide receivers for Gibson Jr. here. Drops back, gonna look over the middle. It is caught, but is he gonna make his way in? No, he is stopped at the 1-yard line.
It looks like Northern Colorado going to bring in 2 more offensive linemen a fullback, and a tight end. They're bringing out 3 receivers, or 2 receivers and a running back. We're going to see a heavy set here. They're going to bring in as many big boys as they can. I would look for maybe a run here or a wildcat as I think number 5 for them now lined up at quarterback.
Yep, here we go. All the big boys in on this one. Northern Colorado looking to punch it in. And the Bears do. Northern Colorado strikes first here in the first quarter on their first drive. They drive all the way down the field and strike first blood. Number 45, Hank Gibbs, the tight end, goes ahead and gives it off to one of the big boys, and they go ahead and pile on over for 6.
Well, not very often do you see a tight end get under center and take a snap on the 1-yard line. My guess is tight end Hank Gibbs probably has some quarterback background in his past, because that's an awful big task to ask your tight end to do when you're down within a yard of scoring a touchdown.
Here's the Bears to try and convert the extra point. And Jacob Willig's kick is good. So 7-0 here in Moscow, and when we come back, we'll have more college football. It's time for today's Keys to the Game, presented by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Don't miss the ultimate sports experience at Northern Quest with Game Day Grub at Epic Sports Bar. Northern Quest, yes, the best.
Yeah, for Northern Colorado Day, protect the quarterback, Aaron Gibson. They've got to be able to get some pressure on Idaho's quarterback today. Certainly. For Idaho, establish the run early. Time of possession, I think, is going to be important. A lot of their wins, their 2 wins this year, have been because of time of possession. And get some defensive front pressure on Eric Gibson. And they certainly didn't do that in the first drive. Now it puts a lot of pressure on this Idaho offense without their main signal caller to respond.
So the Vandals will set up shop at their 25 after the kickoff out of the end zone, I should say. And that's Jack Wagner starting at quarterback for the Idaho Vandals. Joshua Wood out this game due to injury that he sustained in the Montana game. Wagner trying to throw it over the middle. Was that intercepted? As there's a scrum for the ball. It certainly looked like Northern Colorado may have had their hands on it first, but we'll see who comes up with it. Yeah, they're saying Bears.
Yeah, Northern Colorado comes out in a man-free defense. They play man. They cover the slant really well here. Man-free, it's man coverage underneath, and they have one guy in the middle of the field who's going to take anything deep or help with anything deep. And a really nice play there to jump the slant.
Jack Wagner trying to get it to Davion Superales, but it was Darrell Bryant Jr. for the Bears who just jumped in front of that pass. And now the Bears with great field position for their second drive.
Well, you might think this is a big series for Northern Colorado's offense, but I think this is a statement series for this Idaho Vandal defense, who's been very good all year. Can they force a field goal attempt here and take some pressure off their young quarterback?
Here we are, 1st and 10, deep in Idaho territory. On the 32, Eric Gibson Jr. gonna look deep. He throws it deep down the right side, and some good coverage by the Idaho Vandals cornerback there.
That time they send Dawson McGinty in motion, then on what we call a wheel route, where he's just gonna turn up the sideline there, and he's gonna try to beat that corner with speed, and a really nice job there by the corner to make that coverage and not have contact downfield.
Yeah, credit Caleb Ricks there for the pass breakup. And looks like they're moving it back, and it will stay first down.
Yeah, we had a 5-yard penalty.
Just missed it. Must have been something there. So make it 1st and 15 now from about the 37-yard line. Gibson Jr. gonna throw it across the middle. Great defense there once again, Caleb Ricks.
Yeah, Caleb Ricks with 2 back-to-back really nice plays. He's made some plays all year. Tell you what, You get a corner that can cover with arm length like that. If you see that young man on the screen, what an advantage for a defense to know that that side of the field is taken care of.
Gibson Jr. trying to get it to his wide receiver, Braden Monroe. Unable to connect, makes it 2nd and 15. It was an illegal formation, by the way, that dropped them back 5 yards. So here's the Bears, gonna hand it off up the middle, trying to punch it up the gut, but nothing doing. Great job there by the Idaho defense.
Well, big 3rd down. Vandals defense been really good all year on 3rd and long. Look for them maybe to bring some pressure here. Just all year, really done some great things. This is when that pass rush kind of turns it up a little bit.
Maurice Himes was in on the stop, so make it 3rd and 13 for the Bears. Gibson Jr. drops back, gonna try and throw it to the right side again. This time he was overthrowing his wide receiver. Caleb Ricks was all over Carver Cheeks.
Well, that's a great way to explain it, all over, but no contact, just running with him, having no trouble with the speedy, excellent receiver Carver Cheeks there. And this is a win for this Vandal defense. Force a long field goal. Hopefully they get some pressure on this up the middle, maybe get a block. Try to get the momentum back a little bit in this football game.
So Jacob Willig will come out for Northern Colorado. He is 8 of 11 for field goals so far this season. And it is through the uprights with a lot of leg there. Jacob Willig puts 3 points on the board for Northern Colorado. Make it 10-0. The Bears on top of the Vandals. When we come back, we'll have more college football. College football on SWX is presented by Inland Power and Light Company, powering our communities since 1937. And a little bit of a muggy, rainy day this morning here in Moscow, Idaho, but don't worry, we were here inside the dome, so it doesn't matter too much for us. Northern Colorado, the Bears, able to convert on a 52-yard field goal to make it 10-0 here early in the first quarter. As this kickoff will go out of bounds for a touchback, and the Vandals will retry their 2nd drive on offense after their first play from scrimmage was an interception.
Well, I think it was really important that the Vandals defense held Northern Colorado's offense to that field goal attempt. Yes, it was a made field goal, but I think 14-0 really puts you in a bind here. An opportunity to get back within 3 or a touchdown if they can convert this to a field goal on this drive. But, you know, this offense just needs to settle down. There's a lot of time left in this football game. He's got very capable guys around him and a good running game around him as well.
Well, Jack Wagner this time is just going to go ahead and hand it off to Elijah Cummings. And Eli Cummings, he's been dealing with some injury issues back and forth, but it's good to see him back out here on the field.
Yeah, we see him in spots in these football games, and luckily they have a stable running backs that really do a great job allowing him to get a few carries, but at the same time maybe get him a rest during the week and on game day so he can get back to 100% for the back half of the season.
No gain on that first play, so Jack Wagner looking to get something going. He'll hand it off to Elijah Cummings, and Eli Cummings breaks one free all the way into Northern Colorado territory. A huge gain for the Vandals.
Well, that's that running game we talked about, but it doesn't happen without great blocking. We always talk about how good this offensive line is. How about this receiving core? Getting to the second level and getting their blocks accomplished as well. That's the difference between a 7-yard run and a 20-yard run. And Eli Cummings certainly has the ability to make big plays for this offense.
So make it 1st and 10 as the Vandals one big explosive play, and they're now in Bears territory. Wagner going to motion one receiver and a quick pitch out. This time it's Nate Thomas, who's going to get about 3 or 4 yards.
Well, I love the play calling here. Little mishap on the first drive. Let's run the football if you're the Idaho Vandals. That's what you've done well all year. Let's try to gain the time of possession back. Try to flip the field at least here on this drive. All year they've been able to run the football. Even against Washington State, they're able to run the football. So obviously this offensive line and the exterior blocking have done a great job. Hopefully we'll settle down the young quarterback.
Well, here's Wagner. He's still got Nate Thomas behind him in the backfield. They'll hand it off. Thomas going to try and bulldoze his way for a few more yards, but it'll be third down. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards.
Well, and this is third now, and it looks like 4. If you're deciding this is 2-down territory as Northern Colorado subs in basically their whole front 7 here into a little bit heavier package, expecting a run. But if you're a Coach Ford and you've decided this is 2-down territory, you could still run the football here on third down if you're convinced if you get any yardage, you're going to go for it on 4th.
Well, this time to his right is Elijah Cummings. Wagner will drop back. Going to throw it over to Cummings. Cummings catches it, going to try and make one man miss, but did he get to the first down marker? I don't think so. We'll see what they decide to do here on 4th down.
They're going to keep the offense out there, and I like this call. You're down 10-0, you need a spark. If you give Northern Colorado the ball here, yes, it's not ideal, but you also could possibly put it in the end zone, and it's only an 18-yard difference. You have to get some momentum. You have to get some confidence in this offense again. I like this call on 4th down by Coach Ford and his staff.
4th and 2. Here's Wagner, gonna lob it up. All alone for the score, touchdown Idaho! Elijah Cummings broke free and goes ahead to put 6 points on the board for Idaho.
Same route, same formation, as last play. This time, instead of Elijah Cummings running the flat route, he turns it up on the wheel. The defensive back bites on the flat route because it's short yardage, and then it's just a foot race to the end zone.
So Eli Cummings getting the first score on the board for Idaho. And the kicker, Owen Adams, kicks it through the uprights, and it is now a 10-7 Northern Colorado lead. When we come back, we'll have more college football here on SWX. College football on SWX is brought to you in part by Findlay Downtown Toyota on 3rd Street. If you're looking to score the best deals on your favorite Toyotas, come to Findlay. And back out here in the P1 FCU-Kibbie Dome, Moscow, Idaho, the Vandals answer with a big score, 39-yard touchdown pass from Jack Wagner to Eli Cummings. And all of a sudden, we've got a game here. 10-7, Northern Colorado on top. And returning it is number 23 for the Bears, who gets down to about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Northern Colorado Bears will set up shop.
Yeah, if you're the Idaho Vandals right now, you're thinking this is an opportunity here. Get a stop, force a punt, get the ball around your 30-yard line, and really put some pressure on this visiting team to keep up with you. But this is a dangerous offense. This is a team with Carver Cheeks and a nice offensive line. They've got some weapons here. They've proven the first drive they can move the football.
Well, here's Eric Gibson Jr. at quarterback for the Bears. Gonna fake the handoff and roll right. Got someone deep down the field, gets over the coverage of the Vandals for a big gain. Northern Colorado's Braden Monroe hauls it in, and just like that, Northern Colorado already in Vandals territory.
Yeah, I like the play call here. Roll him out to his throwing arm side, changing the trajectory of the play a little bit. Just sneaks behind Braden Monroe, just sneaking behind the 6'2" junior, 200 pounds, sneak behind that Vandal secondary.
As Gibson Jr. will throw it quickly to his big tight end, Charlie Garrison. That's a name that you're going to want to keep an eye on. Charlie Garrison has had 11 receptions for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Bears.
Well, when Northern Colorado for the last several years was a power I football team, they really utilized their tight ends. They've still found a way to use them in this spread offense.
Gibson Jr. rolling out to try and avoid pressure, going to try and keep it himself and pick up a few yards. We'll see if he got to the first down marker. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, nice job there. Good decision. I thought he was going to try to throw the football on the run there, but he's moving the opposite way of his arm. This is really tough to throw. Just a nice decision. Understands where the sticks are, understands where he has to be, and then gets out of bounds and protects himself. Also very important. Always makes coaches happy.
Trying to direct some traffic and couldn't find anything downfield, but wise choice to get enough for the first down. So 1st and 10 from the 31 going in. Gibson Jr. gives it off to his running back. I believe that was Alu Rocco Torore.
Well, we talked about the size of the offensive line for Northern Colorado, but I expect this defensive line led by Zach Crotzer, the young man from Spokane, I expect them to hold up. They've held up against every team they've played this year, and I expect them to continue that high level of play.
Excuse me, that was Brandon Johnson, the running back, so he is still back there with Gibson. 3 wide receivers to his right. He's going to look to throw. Tries to throw it over the middle, but good defense there by the Idaho defense.
It looks like 19 maybe. Braden Rice, some of these numbers. Tough to see today,
yeah.
Not going to lie to you. We love the Idaho uniforms. Black helmets, black jersey look great. I wouldn't have voted for the color of these numbers, I'll be honest with you, with my 50-year-old eyes and glasses I wear.
I don't have much of an excuse. Yeah, Braden Rice with the pass breakup there all over the Northern Colorado receiver. And that brings up 3rd and 9. Gibson drops back, looks to throw, gets it, but there's a fight for the ball. It was not enough for the first down anyways. Isaiah King in on the coverage for the Vandals.
Well, that's a nice route by Carver, but not many outside linebackers at 6'3", 250 pounds are going to run with number 3, Carver Cheeks, excuse me. I talked about Isaiah King at the beginning of the game. He's a young man. When you watch him step on the field, you understand what NFL players look like. He has that frame, and he certainly has that ability.
Jacob Willig on for the field goal. And that one's good. That one had plenty of leg. After a 52-yarder, he drills that one from just a little bit further in, and it makes it a 13-7 Northern Colorado lead.
Zach Crotzer upset with himself. He was inches from blocking that kick. And I know he's upset, but that's a heck of an effort here as we see the replay. He comes right up the middle. That's a heck of an effort from an interior lineman there. Just getting good push, getting through, using his speed and power. So close to blocking that kick and making a big play on special teams.
Now, Coach, we saw kind of during the Montana game, of course that was 2 weeks ago, but the Idaho defense, a lot of missed tackles. Now, they just can't limit the explosive plays, it kind of feels like.
Yeah, there's been some explosive plays, some long passes. I credit Northern Colorado for that because it's more about what they're doing offensively. Moving their quarterback around, exposing some of the areas that they see available. I think the play calling for Northern Colorado has been excellent so far.
Well, here's the kick to go back to the Vandals. This one will roll out of the end zone. And Idaho will look for some more points. Their second drive was able to score some points. First drive, a one-play interception. So Jack Wagner will come back out and lead his Vandal squad.
Well, in the defense, at the end of the day, yes, they've given up 2 field goals here, but you can't complain with that. You're a possession down. You kick the extra point, you have the lead. I credit the defense for really playing well against what I think is a really good offense so far that we've seen here today by Northern Colorado.
Well, here's Jack Wagner on for his 3rd drive on offense. Going to go ahead and give it off to Eli Cummings. And Cummings just going to go ahead and run out of bounds, maybe a gain of 1.
Well, Northern Colorado staying in that cover 1, which is man under 1 deep. What that allows with only 1 safety deep is to get an extra safety to walk down in that box to protect against the run. Right now, what they're saying is, I dare you to throw the football. We're going to protect the run. We know you want to run the football. We're going to bring an extra guy down. As you see number 7 for them walking down here. 1 safety in the middle of the field. They're going to load that box.
Wagner's going to go ahead and take it. And he's going to try and take it himself as well. He's got some wheels on him, and he gets a good 6-7 yards on that gain.
Well, only played 1 year starting quarterback in high school. He was a 3-time all-conference safety on the defensive side, playing behind the young man that's starting up at Washington University now. University of Washington. His name slips my mind right now, but really athletic. Anybody who could play safety 3 years in high school, starting as a freshman, you know he's got some ability.
So Jack Wagner able to make this a 3rd and manageable for the Vandal offense here. He's going to drop back, try to avoid pressure, but he is sacked by the Northern Colorado defensive lineman.
Well, and that's a young quarterback mistake there. You've got to step up in the pocket. You're not giving your right tackle any opportunity to be successful. If you roll to his protection there, you see a nice twist up front and stunt by this Northern Colorado defensive line. They rotate a lot of guys in there. They have a lot of guys that can do it. They're going to try to keep fresh bodies in there against this offensive line for the Vandals.
Yeah, credit Hudson Bogesser. He is one of their leading tacklers. Brings him down for a sack. That punt will get off and is fair caught at about the 45 of Northern Colorado. 13-7 here, just about 40 seconds left in the first quarter of play, as the Vandal defense has been able to get some stops and only really allow the 2 field goals, so it's still only the 13-7 Northern Colorado lead.
But they're going to need some help from this offense at some point. And I know they're missing their main guy, Joshua Woods, but they need to find an answer. And I think the answer is in the run game, but the run game only works if you have success on 1st and 2nd down doing it.
Here's Gibson Jr. in the backfield. He's going to go ahead and try and throw it over. Some pressure over the top, but he gets it to him. And a big hit there by Hayden John. But the Northern Colorado receiver, Dawson Manjadi, holds on to it.
Yeah, the wheel route again, and they motion Manjadi to the short side of the field and run him on the wheel route up the sideline. Playing to cover 2, he gets hit by the safety, but there is a void between the corner and the safety, and they found it.
Well, here's Gibson Jr. going to hand it off to his running back, who's going to get a good gain before he's tossed out of bounds by Jamel Blendman.
Derek Jones, their running back, listed at 6'1", 175 pounds. Looks a little bigger than that. He doesn't get a lot of opportunity to run the football, so when he does, he runs awful hard.
I think 227s there, so I think Curious
Boone. Curious Boone,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We will get a end of the quarter there. 13-7, Northern Colorado on top. When we come back, we'll have 2nd quarter action right here on SWX. Today's coverage of college football on SWX is brought to you in part by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Don't miss the ultimate sports experience at Northern Quest with game day grub at Epic Sports Bar. Northern Quest, yes, the best, as Northern Colorado will pull ahead to about the 19-yard line to make it 3rd and 1.
And here comes that heavy set again. Bringing out 3 skill guys, bringing in a fullback and 2 more offensive linemen.
Looks like we've got an injured player. That's Donovan Parham, the defensive end for the Vandals, who is shaken up on the play.
Well, let's hope he's okay, but it's getting to the point now where the Vandals looks like he's getting up here, which is great news. They can't afford too many more injuries here. Looks like maybe just a stinger. Let's hope with his shoulder as he comes off.
Yeah, I counted 8 players out for this game so far, both offense and defense for Idaho.
Well, I can tell you with 27 years of coaching experience, injuries can even a playing field really quick, especially when it's at your signal caller spot. And you know, 2 things come from this. Number one, you have to find a way to win without Joshua Woods. Number 2, you realize very quickly as fans in the stands and us up here how important that young man is in his football team.
So again, it's Hank Gibbs, the tight end under center for Northern Colorado. They're going to hand it off to Matthias Price. And Price was met at the line of scrimmage, but he goes ahead and barrels about 2 more yards for the first down.
Yeah, they're just going to lead here on an ISO with number 75, an offensive lineman, Quentin Robinson. So you've got a 6'4", 305-pound fullback leading the way there behind an already really big, aggressive offensive line. That's really tough to stop.
Yeah, that goal line set with the tight end under center and Matthias Price and some big boys. But now Eric Gibson Jr. back out there. He's got 5 wide receivers. 1 will come in motion. And he's going to just run it, keep it himself, get about 5 or 6 yards on that play.
They motion the wide receiver to try to draw another man out of the box. A nice play call. They slip the guard up to the middle linebacker. It basically becomes 5-on-5 blocking. As you see number 72 there climb to the next level. Wenkin Feopalu. Really nice job. A nice design again. So impressed with the play calling and the offensive design of this football team.
Gibson Jr. gonna go through his progressions and just dump it off, and he will get into the end zone. Matthias Price, the little dump off pass to the running back, and he finds his way in for another Northern Colorado score.
Well, this defense has played well today, but at some point if the offense doesn't help them out, and this happens, getting behind two possessions now certainly puts them in a bind.
19-17, so you see the offense going to stay on the field to try and get the 2 points and make it a 3-touchdown game, or a 2-touchdown game, I should say, excuse me. As it's going to be Matthias Price who was able to catch that ball and get his way into the end zone. Looks like they're trying to get things kind of settled and figured out here. But it'll be Gibson Jr. with Price in the backfield. Looking for 2. Gonna throw it, and it throws a dart to get it, and it is good. 21-7, Northern Colorado takes a commanding lead here at the top of the second quarter. We'll be back with more college football here on SWX. College football on SWX is brought to you in part by Titan Truck Equipment, Northwest family-owned. Outfit your truck by visiting us in Spokane Valley, and follow Titan Truck on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. As that kickoff will go out of bounds, and we saw Donovan Parham have to go off the field for the Vandal defense, and man, yeah, Idaho just plagued by the injury bug.
Yeah, you still have to find a way to move the football and score some points. As you see there, the injury report, Julian Lee, Lota Alexander, receiver, just a handful of guys. And not just guys that are on these rosters, guys that play big roles, obviously the big one being Joshua Wood. You got to find an identity on offense right now, and I think you're not far enough behind. You know, you're 2 down, but you still have an opportunity, 2 touchdowns down, to run the football and stay in this football game. I don't think passing around the yard is the answer right now, because I don't think that leads to success for the Vandals.
Well, they need to find something to get this homecoming crowd back into it. I'll tell you what, it is filled out pretty well. Everybody was tailgating, and you can see it is filled out on both sides, and they're waiting for something to cheer about. 21-7. As Wagner will drop back. He's flushed out of the pocket. And he'll get about 5 yards on the play.
Well, and you want to maintain, you know, stay between the sticks, get some yards on first down, get it to second and manage both third and short. Stay on schedule in between the sticks here and try to get some points here at the end of this drive.
This Northern Colorado defensive line is big. Junior, redshirt senior. So, and it looks like Rocco Koch is in at quarterback now for the Vandals. He's going to go ahead and break a tackle, get about 10 yards on the carry, enough for a first down.
Well, maybe Rocco can give them the spark they need. Obviously runs well. I think he's a guy they've used before in some goal line sets. So this is not his first time and first experience on the field for the Vandals.
Yeah, and Rocco Koch is going to give it off to his running back, who gets about 5 yards. 37, that's Hayden Kinchello from Hopedale High School here in Idaho.
And when they're really rolling offensively on the ground, they'll use 3 or 4 guys. You know, Eli Cummings being the main guy, but they'll use 3 or 4 guys in that rotation.
Well, here's the Vandals, going to go ahead and just hand it off to Eli Cummings, who comes back into the game, and he's going to stay on his feet. And now he's down, and I think he got to the first down marker. We'll see. Oh yeah, they're going to go ahead and give it to him.
That's a nice run. That's, again, the sign of a good back is what you do once first contact is made. And you can just see the way he's built. He's got that big lower body, that leg drive. Really, really great effort there to move the chains.
So they switched back in with Jack Wagner. Decided to go with a different formation, different look, and ended up giving him 2 first downs. And then Jack Wagner's back in at quarterback. He'll fake the handoff, keep it on the read option, but won't get very many, as Northern Colorado's defensive line was right there for the stop. Aiden Merrihew.
This movement not a lot of movement right now by this Vandal offensive line against this Northern Colorado defensive line as they sub in 4 fresh guys right now. Boy, the luxury of being 8 deep at that defensive line spot, always being able to keep fresh bodies on the field. You just have a sense that Coach Lamb is building something here in Northern Colorado that could be pretty special here in a couple years.
Jack Wagner going to signal over one of his wide receivers in motion, trying to set up a screen pass, and they do get it out to Eli Cummings. And Cummings is hit pretty hard out of bounds, but not after he gets a good 6 yards on the pass play.
Yeah, nice screen, set up well. Offensive lineman get out in front. Good job by Eli Cummings to sell it, and a nice job fading away a little bit. And a nice throw over the defensive front's head. Maybe Vandals get away with a little bit of a hold there. No call on the home team, which is okay.
Make it 3rd and about 4 yards here for the Vandal offense. Trying to get something into Northern Colorado territory, and Wagner's just going to keep it himself and slide down after getting a first down. Man, you don't have Joshua Wood, but don't worry, Jack Wagner's here.
Yeah, Jack Wagner maybe starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in this football game. I can't stress enough how important just points on this possession will be for this Vandal offense.
Kind of mixing everything up. Maybe head coach Thomas Ford Jr. just, gave him a different look with Rocco Koch coming in, running the ball, and then the screen pass. I mean, here they are, 1st and 10 at the Northern Colorado 40 now. Wagner will drop back. He's got verticals, but he's just going to go ahead and keep it himself, trying to get a block there on the corner. I mean, he still gets about 7 yards on the carry.
Yeah, I like the fact he's not forcing it downfield. They can't afford a turnover right now. And if they're going to give you 7 yards on first down, I like the idea of taking it, getting to second and manageable, continue to move these sticks, try to get into that red zone and put some pressure on this Northern Colorado defense.
So, Coach, they took Jack Wagner out, Rocco Koch back in with this formation here. So here's Koch. He's just going to keep it himself. Great designed run play, and he's off to the races. Gets pushed out at about the 15-yard line, but Rocco Koch, wow.
Yeah, this is a quarterback power play. You see the guard here is going to pull around the end. He's going to block the linebacker, and just a nice job of getting outside by Rocco Koch.
Great blocking by the Idaho offensive line, and right back to the well. This time Eli Cummings will get about 5 or 6 yards, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 4. The Vandal offense is moving down the field.
Well, they may have found something here with this personnel group. Something that Northern Colorado hasn't seen, wasn't able to practice this week, wasn't able to prepare for. I think a heavy dose of this before you get to halftime and they can make some adjustments might be a big factor for the Idaho Vandals.
So Rocco Koch still in at quarterback. He's got Nate Thomas to his left. He's going to go ahead and pull it and keep it himself and try and get to the end zone. He dives, and they're going to say no. Well, they're going to say he's down at the 1.
Boy, I'd like to look at that again. I thought, unless he stepped out, I think he gets the pile on there.
I think he does too. We'll have to see. The officials are conferring right now.
I don't think there's any way they don't look at this. It's a scoring play, although it wasn't called a touchdown. I don't know if there's a better angle. I'm not sure from that angle you're going to be able to change the call. But I think it's worth the timeout, even if the Vandals have to take it to get a look.
Well, we see the white hat going to the screen to see what he can see. But Rocco Koch comes in and is giving a spark to this homecoming crowd, because we haven't been hearing a whole lot of cheering until this drive with Rocco Koch and Jack Wagner and Eli Cummings all just combining to get down the field here.
I don't know what angle we would have either to get a better look at this. It's a tough part of the field to really see by camera, but
I'm surprised at where they put the ball.
It looked like he dove in bounds.
I don't. Foot was in, and the ball touched the pylon by rule.
Yeah, they got it right. That's what I saw. Good job by this Big Sky officiating crew to look at it and get it right.
So Rocco,
this is a great look here. Yeah. Great job by our camera crew. Oh, what an effort there. Credit our camera crew for the Vandals touchdown on that one. What a great shot by our guys.
Great shot down there in the corner of the end zone. Rocco Koch runs it in for 6. And the extra point by Owen Adams is good. 21-14. The Vandals cut into the Northern Colorado lead. We'll be back with more college football here on SWX. College football on SWX is presented in part by P1FCU. Are you looking for a free checking account? P1FCU's Ascent Checking is free checking that can earn you dividends. Open your account at p1fcu.org. It is a 21-14 Northern Colorado lead, but the Vandals marched down in about 6 minutes, took a lot of time off the clock, and after the touchback, the Bears will set up shop at the 25. (21-14). Eric Gibson Jr. and company for the Northern Colorado Bears offense has been hard to stop for this Vandal defense.
Well, just as important as that touchdown, I think the fans were a bad series away maybe from being out of this football game. You see a recharged stands here, and the fans in the stands, getting them back in, giving this Vandal community hope that they could still win this football game.
Well, here's Gibson Jr. He's going to hand it off to his running back, and Brandon Johnson is going to get about 2 or 3 yards. Vandal defense there, though, for the stop. Bears staying with the up-tempo offense. Gibson Jr. throws it down the left side. And another great play by Caleb Riggs.
Yeah, he's had Carver Cheeks on lockdown over there on that side. Really, anybody they put across from him, the young man making a statement today. I think in another time they would have called that Reeks Island maybe a little bit. Where he's just kind of controlling that area of the field.
Well, that brings up 3rd and 8 for this Bears offense. First time the Vandal defense getting some help from the homecoming crowd. Gibson, drop back. He's flushed out, but it's a screen pass. And I don't think he made it to the first down marker.
No, he's going to be about a yard short here. And I think they're going to have to punt. Oh, here comes that heavy group again. They're going to bring in those linemen.
Yeah, Justin Gwynn was able to catch that screen pass and get about 7 yards. This is going to bring up 4th and 1.
Well, you got to be careful here if you're the Vandals defense. This could also be a hard count, no snap with a timeout. You got to watch the football if you're the Vandals.
Gibbs, the tight end, under center. Looks like he's trying to draw him off sides. And looks like head coach
he moved.
Lamb. Yeah, got to take a
They
timeout.
got away with some movement there by the left guard. Kronzer's really trying to get the call. I saw the movement too. Northern Colorado got away with one there.
Yeah, head coach Ed Lamb and the offensive coordinator not too happy about that one. 21-14, Northern Colorado on top. We'll be back with this 4th down play right after this. Today's presentation of college football on SWX is brought to you in part by Inner Demon Motorsports, located in Hayden, Idaho. Inner Demon Motorsports, powered by Heatercraft. And Northern Colorado just going to go ahead and punt it away. And the Vandals are going to go ahead and fair catch it, and they will start this drive at about 25. Today's presentation of college football on SWX brought to you by Inner Demon Motorsports. And we'll go ahead and get these Vandals out on the field for this next drive here. 6:27 left here to play in the first half. Jack Wagner in at QB.
Well, the 2-platoon system has worked here in the second quarter as they go back to Jack Wagner backed up, and probably will go back to Rocco Koch once they get into that 30-yard range on the other side of the field.
Wagner just going to go ahead and on a jet sweep. That's Trace Higgins, who's going to get about 11 yards, enough for a first down.
Boy, showing some speed there around the corner. Trace Higgins. Jet sweep, very popular play today in football. Allows your speed to get to the edge right away.
Yeah, Higgins able to get a good chunk there. Vandals are marching now. Under 6 to go. Wagner in the backfield with, I think that's Nate Thomas. And they'll hand it off to Thomas. Thomas going to barrel his way off one defender and get what looks like another first down.
Yeah, one of the officials had it marked short, but a really nice job by the official on the Northern Colorado sideline. You can see here, he's not down. He rolls over a Northern Colorado player right here for about another half a yard, and he's able to get to the sticks.
And during that replay, a quick snap by the Idaho Vandals, and Nate Thomas a loss of about 2 yards. So we're going to make it 2nd and 12. On the stop was Ezra Ekabon. All quiet right now here in this P1 ASUI-Kibbie Dome. Looking for something to cheer about and trying to tie it up before halftime. Wagner looking to throw, and the ball is popped free and recovered by Northern Colorado. There is a flag on the play.
I think we're going to have a hold here on the Vandals.
But that was Dominic Butts, the defensive end, coming off the corner and then hitting that ball free from Jack Wagner's arm.
Well, they're talking about it for a long time for just a holding call.
Yeah. And Northern Colorado, we're talking to head coach Ed Lamb.
Results of the play is a fumble recovered by the offense. During the play, holding, offense, 10-yard penalty. That penalty would be declined. Brings up 3rd down.
Or maybe they were talking about where the ball is going to be spotted.
Yeah.
Because the holding call at that point is irrelevant.
I think he may have misspoke there. Was it recovered by the Vandals? Yeah. He said 3rd down, but that would mean the Vandals recovered it, but I don't think so. That's a clear recovery by Northern Colorado.
Yeah. Recovered by the defense. It'll be 1st and 10, Northern Colorado.
Yeah, okay, so they get it right that time. So a big play there. Jack Wagner loses the football. Northern Colorado defense comes up big.
Yeah, that's really the second big play they've made on defense. It has really changed the outlook of this half. Just time after time, all the pressure being put on this Vandal defense. And overall, even though they've given up 21 points, they have held the line. Being asked to hold the line one more time here with 4 minutes and 33 seconds left in this second quarter.
So the Bears with great field position here. Just about 4.5 left to play in this first half. He's going to just give it up to his running back. That's Kieris Boone.
Well, I like this stop by Northern Colorado. Let's run the football a little bit. Let's burn some clock. See if we can get the last possession half, or kick a field goal, pin them deep with a kickoff, and make this unproven Idaho Vandal offense today go the length of the field before the half. I don't think they need to be in any hurry here. Just try to move the sticks and inch closer to that goal line.
Here's Gibson and Boone in the backfield. Boone's gonna have to pick up a blitzing Idaho Vandal defender, and it is caught over the middle by the Bears for a big 1st down. That was Dawson Menegatti.
Well, we haven't talked maybe enough about Aaron Gibson and what he can do with his arm today. Just another magnificent throw.
Gibson looking over to the side, and I think that was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Gibson trying to do a quick throw over to the right and nothing doing. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for this Northern Colorado offense.
On the season, 6'1", 210-pound redshirt junior, Eric Gibson Jr., 98 at 148, the 66% completion percentage, only 3 interceptions. Outstanding season so far.
Here's Gibson Jr., a little end-around trick play pass that almost got tipped back up into the Vandal defender. A little bit of trickeration there from Northern Colorado. Almost ends up in the hands of Idaho.
Yeah, risky call there on 2nd down. You look at Northern Colorado's season this year. They lose a close one to Colorado State. They beat Chadron State. They lose a close one in overtime to South Dakota. They have played in they've been in every football game. This is not a 2-3. Neither team here, I think, is a 2-3 roster and 2 or 3 talented football team.
Well, here's Gibson gonna do one pump fake and throw over the top, and it is caught. Touchdown, Northern Colorado. A big play from Braden Monroe puts the Bears on top by 2 touchdowns.
Well, they haven't had any luck all day going to Reeks' side. This time they expose the other side of the secondary. The only advantage I think Idaho has at this point is they're going to get at least one more possession here before the half. They've got to try to get back into one possession here.
Northern Colorado has stunned this crowd. And the extra point is good. So it is 28-14. Northern Colorado on top of the Idaho Vandals with just about 3 minutes left to play here in the first half. I mean, Coach, the quick pump fake and go, and that really got Jamel Blendman in a blender there.
It sure did. Just a nice move. Everybody thinks the hitch and go and the pump fake has to happen quick. They do a great job there setting it up, really selling it. And then a nice throw there.
22-yard touchdown pass, Gibson Jr. to Monroe. And all of a sudden, 28-14. If you're Idaho, I mean, you've got 3 timeouts, 3 minutes. I mean, just play your game, right, Coach?
Yeah. I mean, you have plenty of time. The thing you have to do here is you got to move the football. You know, you're probably going to get pinned deep unless they have a good kickoff return. But these kickers, both kickers today, have kicked it out of the end zone. You've got to establish a nice drive. It'd be great to have a 3-minute drive, score at the end, and not give this Northern Colorado offense another opportunity in this half.
We'll see how this kickoff goes. He's been kicking it out of the end zone, and he does it again. So the Vandals will have to try and drive 75 yards to try and make it a 1-score game going into halftime.
Well, and this isn't a tired Northern Colorado defense either, because they are so deep on that defensive line. They will substitute 4 guys at a time. This is an Idaho Vandal offensive line who typically has done a great job, who hasn't been able to combat that rotation yet for Northern Colorado.
Here's Jack Wagner looking to throw on first down. And, just almost a one-handed catch there by Emerson Cortez Menjivar.
It looked like the DB, Derek Jones, fell down. Yeah, he slips. Boy, if that's an accurate football, he might turn that up the sidelines for a touchdown.
Credit the Northern Colorado defensive line. They were getting to Wagner, but Wagner had to try and step up and throw and offline. So 2nd and 10. Wagner looking to throw again. They're going to do a screen pass to Elijah Cummings, who's got a lot of room. Follows his blockers all the way to about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, to be a good offense, especially with a young quarterback, you have to have a great screen game. And that time, you know, this is set up perfect. This offensive line invites those defensive linemen upfield. Then they get out and they release. A nice block there. And we, you know, who doesn't like, if you're a Vandal fan, Elijah Cummings in open field?
Jack Wagner, I saw in the beginning of that replay, he sold that pretty well, looking downfield and then just a quick dump off. And he's just going to go ahead and give it right back to Cummings. Cummings maybe about 4 or 5 yards on the play. And the home crowd wants a flag.
Well, it was close. You had number 0 for Northern Colorado kind of coming in and diving towards the pile late. I think that's a could have gone either way call.
Yeah, LaDavian Osborne and a few other Northern Colorado defensive players were trying to wrestle Cummings down. But the gain will make it about 2nd and 5. And right before they hit the 2-minute timeout, it'll be a handoff to Cummings, who gets to about the first down marker. We'll see if they give it to him. But that will get us to the 2-minute timeout. 28-14 when we come back. Idaho looking to score before halftime. College football on SWX is sponsored in part by Pella Windows, your local windows and door experts to help make life brighter. And the Idaho Vandals looking to get a score before halftime, 28-14, Northern Colorado on top. They've been able to drive down here into Bears territory, but we'll have to see what Jack Wagner and company can do with 1:57 left here on the clock. Wagner gonna motion a man over and drops back, gonna throw it to his motion man. Caught, a big gain here for the Vandals, and it will get them a first down and deep into Bears territory to about the 25.
Well, a nice design play with the motion. Then he's just gonna sit in the flat that the defense vacates, catches a ball, and then the yards after catch gets upfield, holds on to that football, and has got them at least in field goal range here at the end of the half.
Ryan Gesiaro able to pick up a big gain there for the Vandals. Wagner gonna go ahead and motion his running back out and gonna keep it himself. Or was that Koch? Might have been Rocco Koch on the run.
Yeah, I think Rocco Koch in the game there. Not a lot of, nothing fancy here with Rocco Koch. What a great leg drive there. And this offensive line knows they've got a guy behind him in Rocco Koch that can get those hard yards. Nice job by those front three in the middle, getting some push on those defensive linemen for Northern Colorado.
Idaho offense taking their time. Koch is going to go ahead and pitch it out on the speed option, and Eli Cummings gets about 3 yards before he's pushed out.
Good assignment football there by Northern Colorado. Someone's got the quarterback, someone's got the running back. That's how you stop the option. You don't see the option very much out of Idaho, but you can see that Northern Colorado's defense prepared for it, has been ready for it.
That'll stop the clock at 51 seconds, and it will bring up a third down. Idaho just outside of the red zone. Wagner will motion over Gesiaro and will throw it over to him as well, but it is broken up there by McKee Toms, and the Bears cornerback is able to make the play.
And they're going to bring on the field goal unit here, which I think is smart. You have 4th and 6, kick a field goal, chip away before the half, and then you hope your defense can do the job for 30-something seconds and get you out of the half.
Here's Owen Adams to kick this one. And the boot is long enough, and it is good. Dead center, as Idaho will cut into the lead, 28-17. The Bears still on top with 40 seconds left to go here in this first half. Coach, a good drive there from the Vandals when they needed points.
Yeah, and they're proving they can move the football. They're going to need a couple big plays in the second half on defense. Maybe create a turnover. It's amazing what a defensive score, a special team score will do to spark a football team. But they're staying in this football game. They're not where they want to be. You can see Coach Ford looking up at the scoreboard. But I've said a few times this year, Coach Ford's a young coach. They have a young coaching staff. And some people may look at that and think, well, are they experienced enough? They coach with a lot of knowledge and a lot of energy, and you can see that in the play of their players. And this young coaching staff knows how to stay in football games, and they've proven they know how to play with good football teams.
Well, Idaho's just got to hang on for 40 seconds. We'll see if Northern Colorado decides to do anything with it on offense, as they will start this drive at the 25. Now just an 11-point deficit for the Vandals. But really, Northern Colorado has been stellar on offense.
Well, Eric Gibson Jr. just really doing a good job being a field general and spreading it around. These three receivers, they're all catching and making big plays today. and they're adequate in the run game, and they protect their passer. They do a good job offensively.
So here's Gibson Jr. He's not gonna run. He's gonna throw it, and that pass was knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Carver Cheeks, the intended receiver for Northern Colorado.
Well, Carver Cheeks again had one on the slant route, and if this isn't knocked down, this is potentially a big play.
Way to get up there, Dylan Lane. Heads up play. Only 4 seconds went off the clock, so 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Gibson Jr. will just hand it off to his running back, Justin Gwynn. And Gwynn will get about 8 or 9 yards on the carry. And it looks like Idaho is going to go ahead and try and take a timeout to save the clock.
Well, if they can get a stop here, using another timeout, force a punt. Maybe they think, hey, we can get back down into field goal range again. If you're Northern Colorado, this is not 2-down territory. You're gonna attempt this. Look for them maybe to bring in that heavy set here that we've seen a couple times this game. They're gonna be okay punting this thing away if they need to, and trying to play good defense for the last 20 or so seconds.
Well, looking at who Northern Colorado brought out, it looks like Gibson Jr. will still be under center. When they bring that big formation out, you'll see the big tight end, Hank Gibbs, number 45. But Gibson Jr. is out there. He's got Kiarius Boone to his left. 3 receivers to his left here as he drops back, and he's going to heave it deep down the left sideline and caught. Braden Monroe is going to have a huge gain to within the red zone of the Idaho Vandals.
Yeah, we've got a flag, but it's going to be illegal contact downfield or pass interference, as there was a lot of contact by the Idaho defender, and the fans aren't going to like it. Even
Pass interference.
They're looking for
Defense,
a push-off
number 3.
here. I don't think they're going to get it.
Penalty be declined. Results of play, first down.
I think this is the right call. The defender's backs to the quarterback. There's a lot of contact. And a great job by the receiver to work through that contact to make a play.
Braden Monroe hauls that one in with Hassan Dalton trying to cover him and stay with him. But now it's 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Completely different story here to end the first half. Gibson Jr. and the Northern Colorado Bears are looking for a score with 18 seconds left. He's going to hand it off to Boone. Boone untouched in for 6 points. Northern Colorado strikes with less than 40 seconds.
Well, this is a Northern Colorado team. You can just see the energy on the sidelines. Fired up coaches. This is a coaching staff that's trying to, you know, it's a cliche a little bit in the business, but change the culture. The Golden Bears haven't been very good over the past couple years, but you can see the talent they have and the energy. This is a program that might make some noise in the Big Sky next couple years.
Makes it 35-17. At first, Idaho was thinking, let's take a timeout and maybe get a score going into halftime again. But then all of a sudden, Northern Colorado breaks out the deep pass play. And then Boone runs in untouched for 6 points.
Well, sometimes you let your playmakers be players, you know. Why hold back your quarterback who's had a great game? You have 3 receivers that can push the field vertically. And you've got maybe the most underrated player right there you see on camera in the game today, giving you a running game as well. Use your weapons. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Kiarius Boone has been big time under, or I should say behind, Gibson Jr. And all of a sudden, 35-17 with 13 seconds left here in the first half. kick. End over end, and it looks like they will try and bring it out. Trace Higgins looking for a lane, but he is unable to get to the 20.
And I think they're going to get 15 more yards here. With 10 seconds left, you might have a chance to maybe throw one. You want to be careful. You don't want to make a mistake here. But unless these are offsetting, I only see one flag. I think this is going to go against Northern Colorado.
Personal foul, face mask, number 39. A 15-yard penalty be added to the end of play. First down.
Yeah, it's Liam Huber for Northern Colorado. One of the backups, of course, playing on special teams for the Bears. Called with the penalty, so instead of being at the 19 or so yard line, they're at the 33. But 10 seconds left here in the first half.
I think your mindset changes, you know, if it's Joshua Wood. I think you'd be very careful with the football here.
Here's Wagner. He's looking to throw. Got all the time in the world, and he's going to just dump it off to his running back, Nate Thomas. And Thomas makes a few people miss, but I think the time is going to run out on him, and it will.
Oh, they're going to give him a timeout here.
Are they giving him a timeout? Well, Northern Colorado is trying to run to the locker room while Idaho's trying to stay on the field. And it looks like the referees are trying to get the Bears back.
I thought there was 1 second left. I peeked up at the clock when he was stumbling to the ground, and it was at 2. They may have to look at this, but I think they're right. I think there's 1 second left.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying right now on the
clock, please. 1 second.
So 1 second will be left on the clock. Nate Thomas got to the 45-yard line. And you've got Jack Wagner out there, so they're just going to heave it deep, too far for a field goal.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Northern Colorado is in a prevent offense here. They've got 3 guys standing back on the goal line, 3 more at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, they came out. Prevent defense, and you can see there was some confusion in the Idaho huddle. They were looking at Coach Ford, and Coach Ford is saying, hey, this is what we're doing. So
well, and you can't take the timeouts with you into the half. So if you're not sure, why not take a timeout? I wouldn't be surprised if Northern Colorado lets them line up and then they take a timeout. Why not?
We'll see what the play call is here for the Vandals. Probably just heave it deep and see what you can find with 1 second left in the half.
You see the Northern Colorado coaches telling those deep guys, just knock it down. It's not a time to try to make a big play. Just knock the ball down. Let's go to half with the lead.
So we'll get to see Jack Wagner's arm strength probably here. Nate Thomas will try and block, but he is a lot of pressure. Northern Colorado defense there to sack it and end the half. That was Zach Nowatzki with the sack, and it will end a big half for Northern Colorado. The Bears lead it 35-17 over Idaho on homecoming. When we come back, we'll have halftime right here on SWX. Welcome to halftime on SWX, brought to you by Spokane Colleges, an education designed with life in mind. As we're out here in Moscow, Idaho, P1 FCU Kibbie Dome, a 35-17 Northern Colorado lead over the Idaho Vandals. And joining myself in the booth here is Big Sky Commissioner Tom Wistersill. And Tom, I mean, this is the kind of time where everything's about to start overlapping. Basketball season's coming up, football's in full effect, but you're here in Moscow. You just taking in the game?
Yeah, you know, I make it a point. I try to see every team in person once during the season. So I hadn't been to a place where either of these two teams had played. So I set the schedule up that way. It works out great. We were able to give the President's Cup to Idaho during a timeout, and quite a great thing for President Green and AD Terry Golick, all the coaches and student athletes, for them to win the academic and athletic award for the Big Sky Conference is really meaningful. So it was fun to be here for that, and great homecoming crowd. Where else would you want to be on a Saturday in the fall?
You're not wrong at all. Big Sky football, shoot, you see up and down. It's a lot of depth in Big Sky football from team to team. Just tell us a bit about the status of the conference, especially with football. And I mean, you're here at Idaho, number 13 in the nation. So
yeah, you know, every year the Big Sky is so deep. You know, we're proud of our football tradition, proud of the respect that we have. I think everybody knows if you can win the Big Sky Conference, you have a chance to win the national title. We'll send, you know, 5 teams probably into the playoffs. Half our conference is ranked on any given week. So it's just an incredible conference. We got great coaches, great programs, great player development. And even in this age of the transfer portal, we're still mostly able to hold on to a lot of these players and build from within. So football is incredibly important to our institutions, as you can tell by this great crowd here in Moscow today.
Well, I mean, you've gotten to kind of see everything. I mean, whenever you come to Moscow, I mean, what's the best place? Where do you got to go, or have these people been telling you where to go, all these homecoming fans?
Well, you know, it's actually, I didn't come down until early this morning,
okay.
But typically I come into town. I think downtown Moscow is just a treasure. And I just love stopping in at restaurants and bars and, you know, just saying hi to people. And, you know, everybody's very kind when I see them, except on game days. Sometimes they don't like the officials for some reason, so I get blamed for that on occasion. But I just think that downtown Moscow is a special place to be, especially around homecoming. I've been here before and been down to the parade and that. So it's fun to have a campus like this that really embraces what college is all about. And you see all these alums come back and they remember being here, and so Moscow's a special place. I love all our children the same in the Big Sky, but it's always fun to come to the Kibbie Dome and be a part of this great place.
Perfect. Well, hey, thank you so much, Tom, for joining us. Appreciate it as always, and getting to talk to you. And we'll be back with more halftime here on SWX. It's time to take another look at tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Don't miss the ultimate sports experience at Northern Quest with game day grub at Epic Sports Bar. Northern Quest, yes, the best. And Coach, let's relook at these keys to the game. What do we got going on?
35-17, Northern Colorado lead. I'm not saying I could look into the future, but if you look at Northern Colorado's keys to the game, they protected their quarterback. He's played outstanding. Finding Carter Cheeks early, or really getting all 3 receivers involved in this offense passing game. And they've created some big turnovers that have helped this football team. For Idaho Vandals, defensive front pressure, they just haven't gotten it today. Established the run. I would give them a C+ or a B- in the run game, but that's all they have, so they really need to lean on that second half. And I haven't seen the exact time of possession, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to matter now. They've got to open up this offense, and they've got to try to catch up for this high-powered Northern Colorado team.
Well, you heard it from Coach there. We're going to have to see how the Idaho Vandals respond and what Northern Colorado decides to make on adjustments. 35-17, when we come back, we'll have more here on SWX. Tune in to SWX next Saturday for more college football as the Eastern Washington Eagles welcome the Idaho Vandals to Roos Field. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. It's the Eagles and the Vandals live next Saturday on SWX, your home for local sports. And halftime on SWX was brought to you by Spokane Colleges, an education designed with life in mind. 35-17, Northern Colorado up on the Idaho Vandals. We'll be back with second half action here on SWX. College football on SWX is presented by Inland Power and Light Company, powering our communities since 1937. And back down here on the Palouse, Moscow, Idaho, P1 FCU-Kibbie Dome. Idaho Vandals are looking for a big second half comeback because the Northern Colorado Bears could not be stopped on offense. It is 35-17 as we are about to start the second half of action. Noah Schmick alongside Adam Shackelford. And Coach, I think the adjustments are made from both teams, but maybe more so on the Idaho side.
Yeah, and this is big. You know, Northern Colorado's drive there at the end of the half and be able to get 7 points. You know, Idaho was hoping to close out the half and get the ball back here, but they were hoping that it would be 7 points closer.
Yep. Instead, it's going to be a 35-17 start to this second half, and the Vandals, well, they will have the ball to start it off here, and we'll have to see what they can get going. Jack Wagner will come out here for the Vandals. He's been efficient, but not on his A game because they've had to run the ball a lot and try and throw some screen passes. And he's got two running backs beside him here on this first down play. He'll motion one out and hand it off to the other, Nate Thomas. As Thomas gets maybe a yard.
Well, and this is what we call the read option. He's going to read that backside in, and if the backside in stares him down, doesn't run with the running back, he's going to give it. If that backside in turns his shoulders and commits to the running back, he's going to pull it around the end, and that time Northern Colorado doing a good job in the middle there of taking care of the running back and backside in 54 securing that quarterback.
That's Ryan Jesiaro on the motion, but instead it's just a handoff to Eli Cummings, and he's got a lot of space. Cummings with a big gain to about midfield for the Vandals.
Well, and without Joshua Woods, he's their big play potential. They're going to give him a rest here as he's hobbling a little bit. I know he's still nursing a little bit of an injury, but they need big plays out of their playmakers that they have available to them today, and there's the first one in the second half.
Big run there from Eli Cummings will set up the Vandals at their 44-yard line. First and 10. Looks like we have Rocco Koch in at quarterback, and he was not able to get the play started. I think we're going to have a false start here on Idaho.
He's got to wait for those receivers to get set. It looked like some confusion in the formation.
False start.
And not the formation
Offense.
it was, but the direction. So typically in a formation, you're going to get a
5-yard penalty.
right or left call. And it
First
looks like
down.
they tried to flop it there at the last minute, and they snapped the football before the receiver down here on Northern Colorado sidelines was set. Remember, those receivers have to be set for a second.
So Rocco Koch still in at quarterback here for the Vandals. He's got Nate Thomas to his left who motions out. Koch just going to keep it himself and get a good gain, probably 6 or 7 yards. Make it second and 8.
Yeah, and early in the half, this offense is okay if they can get a touchdown here and get back in this football game. But as we get later in this game, Northern Colorado is going to be absolutely fine with giving up 6 yards to Rocco Koch as long as they're not scoring quickly. They've got to whittle down early in this quarter, whittle down this lead, try to get this thing back to 2 possessions and get back in this football game.
And Jack Wagner back in at quarterback. He's going to hand it off to his running back. I believe it was Cummings who maybe got a yard on the carry. And, excuse me, that was Nate Thomas, I should say.
Well, and anytime you have a successful run game, you've got to be able to run some play action pass off of that, especially on second and third down when you get a nice first down gain.
That'll make it 3rd down and 8. Vandals looking to convert. Wagner will drop back. trying to avoid pressure. Steps up in a nice pocket, finds his receiver, but I don't think he got to the first down marker.
Boy, that's not a very good spot there. What? I think he's about 6 inches short. I don't think either official got to where they needed to be. The official on this sideline, Northern Colorado sideline, he's really the one responsible to set that spot. And now they can't figure out if it's a first down or fourth down.
And replay as you turn the ball is at the 47-yard line, fourth down.
So they spot him.
I don't know if we can get a replay here. That contact was made closer to the 45. He's at about he's probably a yard short.
Looks like they'll mark him a yard short,
yeah.
So we'll see. Rocco Koch is gonna get the first down. Follows his blockers for a good gain and into Northern Colorado territory. The Vandals get the first down.
I would look for Rocco Koch at some point to throw the football, because you can really see Northern Colorado's safeties. They're creeping up, daring them to throw the football. I think even if you don't complete it, I think you get them to back off a little bit and secure that running game.
Well, Rocco Koch still in at quarterback here. Koch gets a maybe back to the original line of scrimmage.
That time there was no safety in the middle of the field, which means they actually brought 9 guys up and loaded that box and said, if you're going to run it, we're going to put 9 guys in here to stop it.
So Koch goes back out, and in comes Jack Wagner. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. Wagner, 3 wide receivers to his right. He's just going to hand it off. Great spin move, but not able to get anything going, as Northern Colorado's defense was right there. LaDavian Osborne on the stop.
Well, unless that was a predetermined give, I think this should have been a keep here by Jack Wagner. He had an alley there on the zone read. Again, this may have been predetermined, but if he pulls it there, I think he's got some daylight to run the football.
So brings up a 3rd and long after the Eli Cummings tackle for loss. Wagner drops back, finds a man over the middle. It is caught for a first down. Idaho's Michael Graves back in the lineup, and he gets a big first down catch there.
A really nice dig route. Finds the hole in the zone in the middle of the field. And a nice ball.
Wagner keeps it on the little RPO right there and gets a good gain. Looks like Emerson Cortez Menjivar with that catch.
Well, his first throw of the game was an interception, but it seems like the more he throws the football here in the second half, you can see a little more confidence being instilled in his mind. And being a backup quarterback and not getting a lot of reps in practice and not playing in any game so far this year, this is a tough task, especially for a young quarterback. But you're starting to see a little bit more confidence out of the young man.
Wagner's just going to hand it off to his running back, who's going to get just about to the first down marker. That was Nate Bell on the carry, or sorry, Nate Thomas on the carry.
And now they're gonna bring in a heavy. Idaho's gonna bring in a heavy package as they bring 2 offensive linemen and their fullback into the football game. And we've seen this year at the goal line with Rocco quarterback several times in that St. Thomas and Utah Valley game.
So it'll be Rocco Koch and Nate Thomas in the backfield here. Pistol look. Looks like they got the tight end on one side and a big lineman on the other. And Koch's going to follow his blockers get the first down and about 5 yards to get inside the 20-yard line of Northern Colorado.
Well, it's just big boy football here. Pull a guard around. Good job by Rocco to get up in the hole. It's just big body on big body, and that time Idaho won the battle.
So Rocco Koch pointing that way, saying first down. He's going to stay in there, it looks like, with Nate Thomas. They keep that big formation in there. And Koch on a little option decides to keep it himself, and that's a great play for a touchdown. Rocco Koch keeps it himself and finds the end zone.
I think they're going to go for 2 here. Two would cut it to 10. No, maybe not. Yeah, I think they are going to go for 2 here.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Wagner is going to come in for Koch.
And I like this call. I thought they might go for 2, and then I saw Coach Ford kind of stop the kicking team from coming on. I like this call. Because even if you don't get it, you're still a 2-possession football game. But now this is an opportunity to get it to a field goal and a touchdown.
He's got 3 wide receivers, and Jake Cox, the tight end, he's trying to get it to him. And he got it.
We do have a flag on the A in Idaho in the end zone. And this might be delay of game. Now they're pointing towards Northern Colorado. So
Illegal substitution.
12 men on the field.
On the defense, 12 players in formation. That penalty declined.
Well, they couldn't stop the play. They should have put 13 on the field.
35-25, Idaho cuts into the lead. We'll be back with more college football right here on SWX. So after looking at it, Jake Cox did not catch the 2-point conversion. However, because of the penalty, they'll move it up to the 1-yard line and retry the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and they're keeping that big package in, which I like. You don't know how many play-action passes they have out of this. They used 1 on the ball that hit the ground. I would think they're just going to try to power this thing in.
Well, it's Rocco Koch. He's going to try and follow Nate Thomas, and he gets it? Yes, he does. So still make it a 35-25 Northern Colorado lead, and they cut it to a 10-point lead.
Well, the chess match in the first half was quarterback and receivers from Northern Colorado against the secondary for Idaho. The chess match in the second half so far has been this offensive line of the Vandals against this defensive line for Northern Colorado. And I could tell you, for the first time in the game, I think the Vandals are winning that battle right now. Not a lot of adjustments by Northern Colorado with Rocco at quarterback. They're bringing the extra guys up, but they're still getting the hard yards. You got to give a lot of credit to those front 5 and the tight end up front.
That was a long drive for 6 points and then 8 plus the 2 points. So now just a 10-point Northern Colorado lead. And you're going to need the Idaho defense to step up here. And you kind of got the homecoming crowd back into it too. As this kick will be a touchback. And when we come back, we will have the Northern Colorado offensive drive right here on SWX. College football on SWX is presented in part by your local McDonald's restaurants, proud sponsors of the McDonald's Team of the Week, featured every Friday night at 11:15 on Nonstop Local KHQ during SWX Overtime. And we are back here. Northern Colorado drive, start from the 25. As Gibson Jr. will give it off to his running back, Brandon Johnson, for a big gain there.
Yeah, we're going to have a 15-yard face mask on the Idaho defense. Pretty obvious here. Nice call by the back judge.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 21, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
So instead of the drive starting at the 25, all of a sudden the drive will basically be starting at the 47-yard line.
Not ideal for this Vandal defense, who's really worked hard today to help out their offense, and finally the offense starting to respond. A big series, especially for this defensive line.
Here's Eric Gibson Jr. He's been very good passing the ball. Idaho defense trying to get some pressure. He's just going to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, that time a little bit of pressure by Austin Krotzer, or excuse me, Zach Krotzer. One of the hardest working young men in the Big Sky. Just effort every play. If you're a young kid at home that plays defensive line and you want to watch a guy who does it the right way, 96 is a guy that you want to watch play week after week, because he gives it everything he's got.
Shadle Park High School kid as well up there in Spokane. He's been a mainstay for the Vandals as Eric Gibson Jr. A quick pass out to Carver Cheeks, who gets pretty close to the first down marker, but he'll be short.
Yeah, it's been fun over the years to watch. You know, obviously SWX, we do the high school games as well, and we get to follow these guys' career a little bit from the GSL and the Inland Empire League to schools like Eastern and Idaho, and just really fun to watch these young men who might have been just beginning their young men career, now grow up and be big-time college football players.
They're going to need him to step up and plug some gaps, as they have that big formation Northern Colorado does, and a timeout by Idaho on 3rd and 1. You see Krotzer running over there. He's talking to someone to either get on the field or something, but head coach Thomas Ford Jr. taking his timeout here on a big 3rd and 1. That's a funky formation by Northern Colorado. They bring in that tight end. We've been seeing it a few times here already today. Hank Gibbs, the tight end, comes in, and they've just got all sorts of big bodies up front there.
Yeah, and really has been effective. And you know, the one play we haven't seen that you would expect out of that is the tush push, right? The most famous play in football right now. Exactly. That no one can seem to figure it out how to stop it. Basically has become kind of a rugby scrum. And I can tell you from knowing people in the NFL and other places, there's some people that love it and there's some people that hate it.
We'll see what they end up doing here. Matthias Price is in the backfield. They have given it to him a few times, and they'll do it again. But the Vandal defense gets in the backfield before, and I think they stop him and might have even tackled him for loss.
Yeah, he's going to lose a yard on that. You see the defensive coordinator telling the defense, hold, we're going to see what they're going to do.
It looks like
they're going to kick the football.
Yeah. Northern Colorado is signaling for their punt team to come on.
Well, and this isn't a bad call. You didn't get it on 3rd down. Now you're 4th and a long 2. Make this running game of Idaho go as far as they have to on this field. I like this call by them.
So they will punt it off, and the fair catch is made at about the 5-yard line, and that's where the Vandals will set up shop. 35-25 when we come back. More action here on SWX. Today's presentation of college football on SWX is brought to you in part by Granite Concepts. Get your dream kitchen, bathroom, or outdoor barbecue started at GraniteConceptsNW.com. Granite Concepts, beauty set in stone. And by Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston. Play, stay, get away. Back out here in the Kibbie Dome, 35-25. Vandals back on offense and looking to cut into the Northern Colorado lead. Jack Wagner will hand it off to his running back.
A heavy dose of run here is what we're going to get. And this is a big drive for both sides, because if you're going to run 5 minutes off the clock and you're the Idaho Vandals run the football, it has to end in a field goal at least, right? But if you force them to run 5 minutes off the clock, if you're Northern Colorado, and it ends in no points, you're fine with that. If you're Northern Colorado, you're going to get the ball back starting the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead, and Mr. Gibson Jr., your field general, with the ball in his hands.
Here's Wagner looking to do something. He is pressured heavily by two Northern Colorado defenders. Took a shot, too, in the end zone.
Well, and not anywhere close to receiver, but he got outside that quarterback box. And they're discussing it. And this is big, because if this is intentional grounding, this is in the end zone, this will be a safety. But I think he's okay.
Yeah, you can
Coach
see
Hamby down there really asking for it.
Yeah.
At least asking. I mean, if you're the other coach, you have to ask the question, right?
As Wagner had Ezra Ekabon and Hudson Vagesser barreling down on him while he was running through the end zone. So lucky to get that away. 3rd and 5. Wagner, motion man. Gonna throw it over to Ryan Giziaro, and it's in and out of his hands.
Yeah, just a tough angle. The motion out is such a tough route to run, and the timing is tough because he's coming with speed across the ball. He's not stationary, so the timing is just really tough. That's a tough throw for any quarterback. Not ideal for a 3rd down call.
So the Vandals will look to punt from their own end zone here. Northern Colorado with 9 guys on the line. They'll try and get to it, but they cannot. And fielding it, Northern Colorado's number 23, Luke Wooten. And Wooten gets a few yards, and it will start the drive in Vandal territory.
A great field position. Again, Northern Colorado's defense comes up big, gets it back to their playmakers on the 42-yard line of the Vandals. Can't keep putting this defense in bad situations and having them bail you out.
This is a tough spot here with the ball on the 42-yard line of Idaho. So Gibson Jr. and Kiarius Boone in the backfield, and he'll give it to Boone, but a pretty good stop and wrap up there by the Vandal defense and Isaiah King.
Well, and I think running the football, if you're Northern Colorado, is certainly warranted right now. There's no reason not to run some clock.
Gibson Jr. was looking to throw it right, instead throws it left, and it is a forward pass, no good. Incomplete for Boone.
That time the Vandal defensive line getting some pressure, trying to gut this thing out. They don't have 8 guys that rotate in. They have maybe 5. As Austin Krotzer comes back in the game after getting a breather. Kind of the mainstay and the leader on that defensive line. He's the emotion and the passion of this defense.
3rd and 8. Fans trying to get something for the defense, and they do. A great stop there by the cornerback. Jamel Blendman gets Carver Cheeks down in his own backfield, and that brings up 4th down.
And they're going to punt this. The Vandals able to keep them out of realistic field goal range as well. They're going to punt this deep and try to put them back within the 5-yard line again. Well, this would be a great time for a return by the Vandals.
And the punt for Northern Colorado, it is a back spinning punt, so it takes a friendly Idaho bounce to about the 12-13 yard line. They'll mark it at the 14, and that's where Idaho will start their drive. But 3 and out there for Northern Colorado. The defense does its job, Coach.
Yeah, just a lot of, like I talked about, a lot of emotion and passion and fight to this defense. Not quitting, understanding that their offense needs some help. You know, football is the greatest team sport there is, in my opinion. And you can just see a defense trying to fight and saying, hey, offense, we just need a spark. You know, we're trying to set you up. We're trying to take care of you. We just need a spark out of you. We need something on this drive.
Looking to cut into a 10-point deficit. 3 minutes and 20 seconds as Wagner will get it over to Emerson Cortez Menjivar. And he will get about 6 or 7 yards on that game.
And so many times this season we've seen Cortez Menjivar take over football games. And this is a game where he's just quite honestly going to have to play a different role. You know, he's not going to get the touches he's going to want. He's going to have to block. He's going to have to do the other things. It's forcing these receivers today to be a little bit selfless. So far, I think they've done a good job as a group.
Here's Wagner. And he's going to hand it off to his running back and, yep, get a first down. Idaho's Nate Thomas on the carry.
And we've got a Northern Colorado player down. Let's certainly hope he's okay.
A lot of big bodies in on that run. Just handed it off to Nate Thomas for the first down, and sometimes that'll happen. Didn't get a number on that, so well, there we go. That was Ezra Ekabon.
And Ezra Ekabon, a defensive lineman, he plays a lot of snaps for this Northern Colorado team. And well, I've watched him a little bit today. He's done a really good job in the run game, and it's tough in the middle sometimes. A lot of big bodies colliding.
Well, Ezra Ekabon and Dominic Butts, those have been the 2 key defensive linemen for Northern Colorado so far this game. But here's the Vandals with a 1st and 10 from their own 26. Wagner gonna hand it off to his running back, and nothing doing there.
And Northern Colorado saying, all right, Idaho, keep running the football. As long as we can stop you and force you to these 3-yard runs, we'll let that tick, tick, tick happen as we now are closing under 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. And Idaho really struggling to get out of their area of the field. At some point, they're going to have to make a big play, bust a big run, play action over the top, maybe get Cortez Menjivar involved in some kind of deep route as they're now man coverage over there.
Quick throw over to the right side of the field, but Eli Cummings is upended by Derek Jones. Trying to do a little quick screen there, Coach, and nothing going, so it brings up 3rd down.
Well, and as an offensive coordinator, you know, I've been one for years and done that. You know, you still believe in your backup, but you do have to change your philosophy a little bit. Because of the lack of experience, you do change the play calling. You hope to run the football well. You get to the quick game. You rely on your screens. He's just not able to do the things because of the lack of experience that Joshua Wood can do.
Wagner on 3rd down trying to throw it to Emerson Cortez Menjivar. Kind of overthrows him, but they're going to throw the penalty flag, and it looks like we'll have pass interference.
Yeah, I think they're going to talk about whether this was catchable or not. They could wave this off.
That ball did sail pretty high.
I know a large group of people in this dome that don't want it waved off. But a long discussion like this, I think the flag's coming out of the pocket to wave it.
There is no foul on the play. 4th down.
Well, just like that, waved off, and now 4th down, and the punt team coming on for Idaho.
Well, and you may not like the call, but you also have to think about, if you were the road team, would you agree with the call? And that's tough to do for fans because of the passion's been allayed in this Vandal alumni and its homecoming. But that ball was clearly uncatchable.
So the Idaho punt team will come out, able to get a little bit, well, right as I said that, I was going to say able to get a little better field position, but I believe.
I'll start. Offense number 81. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So now that ball will go even further back, and the punter will be trying to kick from his own 6 or 7 yard line. Cameron Pope on to punt, and he's able to get that one off. Booming punt into Northern Colorado territory, and so they'll set up shop just around their 45.
54 seconds left in the third quarter. The defense here for the Vandals, a lot of snaps in this third quarter. Just the offense outside of maybe one big play, big run by Elijah Cummings, just not able to sustain a drive.
So that brings out Eric Gibson Jr. and the Northern Colorado offense that had to punt. They went 3 and out last time. We'll see what they can do here. Gibson Jr. rolling around, trying to find someone, trying to get some Matthias Price, but a good play there by the defense for Idaho. Dylan Lane was right there to break it up.
Yeah, nice coverage by Dylan Lane there on the running back. Tried to slip the running back out into the flat. Man coverage, he stays with his man. Scramble happens. He's right where he's supposed to be, and a good job by not making early contact and forcing that ball out. And it stops the clock.
Northern Colorado looking to throw. They're going to get it over the middle. Carver Cheeks with a big gain and a first down for the Bears.
Well, number 3, Carver Cheeks, is not a young man that you want to get hot again this half. A very special player, and the guy that Gibson Jr. looks for when he needs a big play.
And the up-tempo, no-huddle offense, a quick throw to his tight end, Charlie Garrison. As Garrison gets about 4 yards. And we will see the third quarter of action come to an end with Northern Colorado in control with the ball in Idaho territory. We will just flip sides. So fourth quarter of action coming up here, 35-25, the Bears in front here on homecoming. College football on SWX is brought to you in part by Top Dog Plumbing and Drain. Locally owned and operated, our pledge is to bring you unmatched service and expertise for your home or business. Don't settle for a good dog, go for the top dog. All right, fourth quarter of action, just about set and ready to go here in Moscow. Idaho Vandals looking to overcome a 10-point deficit. Northern Colorado with the offensive possession though. Gibson Jr. finds Dawson Menegatti for a first down.
Just continuing to move the sticks and pinpoint accuracy. Gets rid of the football, knows where he wants, is able to look off his first read, get to his second read quickly. And guess what, Big Sky? He's got a year left after this. This is a team that's building something over Northern Colorado.
So far, so good. Fourth quarter of action up by 10 points. Northern Colorado has been in control as Gibson Jr. hands it off to his running back, Matthias Price, for a good gain. Price,
their bigger back, more of a ground and pound. When you're trying to run clock, he's the guy you want. He's also been the guy behind the offensive lineman in that heavy set, which has been brilliant today for Northern Colorado.
So here's Gibson Jr. with Price in the backfield with him. And they're going to look to throw. And they're going to throw it deep. And it was a little bit overthrown and out of bounds. Intended receiver was Menengati.
And the other thing you get with number 5, Price in the backfield, is a better pass protector there. Idaho brought an outside linebacker on a blitz, and he just stymied him on the line of scrimmage. You get that big back, and it's almost like having a tight end attached that stays in protection. Protecting Gibson Jr., giving him time to throw those vertical routes down the field.
3rd and 5. Vandal defense looking for a stop here. Gibson Jr. over to Carver Cheeks, and he's got the first down. About a 10-yard gain, too, so it'll move the chains and put him at about the 14-yard line.
Well, everybody plays a role in this offense. It seems like they need a big play downfield. Dawson Mengetti, Braden Monroe are your guys. They need 5 yards. Charlie Garrison, their tight end, just finds the hole in that zone. And when they need a for sure thing, it's number 3, Carver Cheeks.
And a little bit of a misdirection handoff, and as Carver Cheeks is going to try and reach the ball over, and one of the line judges is saying he was down.
I think this is a good call. I think he's down short. I think the fumble happened. Well, I don't think it was a fumble. I think the ball came loose in the end zone. Still recovered by Northern Colorado. But I think he was down, and both officials marking him just an inch behind that white line. I don't know if it's a knee or a forearm down right there. Boy, that's awful close.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm not sure Idaho wants them to review this.
Carver Cheeks gets the end around, little pitch. And
well, the other thing is where that ball came out, and it's tough to tell by that angle. That ball is definitely out before he hits the ground. Now, what are you going to challenge? Are you challenging whether the ball came out, or are you challenging whether he's over the white line? What are we looking for here as they do review this play? And is there an angle from down the line that's going to show? I think Idaho's hoping they're gonna check the fumble.
yeah.
We've just heard that they're going to review score or not. I'm not sure they're going to be able to. I think this is going to be upheld short, unless there's an angle we have not seen.
Yeah, and you saw in the replay that was Frederick Lujan was the one that poked it out of Carver Cheeks' hands. And we'll have to see what they end up thinking here, but it's a much different ball game if that's a score.
Well, and let's be honest. They're going to bring in that heavy package, and they're going to have 4 downs to get it right.
Yep.
And
After review,
Idaho is just not. Well, they're
The
placing
runner
the ball.
fumbled the ball. However,
at
it
the
was
PAT
recovered
spot
by the offense in the end zone. By rule, that is a touchdown.
So they did end up saying it was a fumble, and they were trying to see maybe whether it was a touchdown on the fumble recovery. I will tell you this, Idaho fans may not agree, but I think this is a pretty well officiated football game today, and I think they got that right.
Yeah, I think so too. It looked like the ball came out and covered in the end zone, so make it a 41-25 lead pending this extra point. And they'll put some more time on the clock as well. But that's a big score there for Northern Colorado to really take command in this game. Instead of 10 points, Woodlig's extra point will be good, so it'll be 17 points to try and come back for the Vandals on homecoming. But Northern Colorado in front as we come back. We'll be right back here on SWX. College football on SWX is sponsored in part by Dr. C Family Dentistry. Complete care for every smile at every stage. And back out here in the Kibbie Dome, Northern Colorado has taken a commanding 17-point lead at the start of the fourth quarter. And the Vandals are going to have to try and find some sort of answer on offense, because there has not been much of a passing game to talk about, Coach, and it's really just been run the ball and try and find some holes.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it at the break a little bit. You'd hope that 25 points would keep you in the football game. Just not able with the personnel group they have right now and the injuries. And Coach Ford is not going to make excuses for the score. I know the way he operates. He still believes they should win this football game. But I'm not sure what they're able to do on offense was going to keep up with Northern Colorado and what they're able to do on offense today. So I think this is a case of, boy, we better get healthy.
Yep, Jack Wagner in at quarterback. He's going to go and try and hand it off to his running back, but there is nowhere to run.
And I know from coaching experience, fans don't always want to hear the truth. They want to hear, it sounds like an excuse, but it's blatantly obvious right now that they just don't have the firepower they need to compete with Northern Colorado, who's also a 2-3 football team. And it also reminds you how important Josh Woods is to this football team.
Yeah, you wonder if Joshua Wood was in, would there be more of a passing game? Jack Wagner is heavily pressured, and he's able to get it to his wide receiver, but not much going on there.
And if I was a betting man, I would tell you, in 2 years, I think these fans are going to love Jack Walker. I think he's going to get the experience he needs. I think he's going to be a redshirt senior at some point, and I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. But right now, he is not getting the reps that he needs as a backup, because Josh Woods was getting all the reps to be effective, and effective enough.
Yeah, 6'4", 190, redshirt sophomore. Played a lot last season, but this season it has been the Joshua Wood show until he's been sidelined with an injury. But right there is where, as we talk about it, trying to find someone downfield, he does. Is a good gain there. Jack Wagner finds his open man, Marquand McCraney.
Well, and credit to these Vandals on offense. You could see the receivers coming back, high-fiving Jack Walker. You could tell this is a close group and a close huddle. There has been absolutely zero quit in this Vandal team, and that's also a credit to the leaders in the locker room and this coaching staff.
A great ball over the middle, and he's looking to throw again. This time going to use his feet, and he's got a lot of room. Kind of dives forward there, and he's going to be down just before the first down marker. Well,
they're going to need to do a slide drill in practice next week, because I could tell you, you want your quarterback to slide feet first. And I appreciate the effort, but you don't want to take a linebacker on one-on-one.
Does get a good 9 or so yards, so make it 2nd and 1. Kind of able to open the playbook here. Wagner going to drop back. Find Emerson Cortez Menjivar on the side curl route there. Good gain and a first down.
Getting a little bit of a rhythm here. You know, there's still 10, 15 o'clock. If they can get a score here, they're going to have to buy a possession with a turnover. I think it's too early to onside kick. You don't want to give them a short field, but
Cortez,
they've got to get in the end zone.
Cortez Menjivar walks off on the sideline, takes his helmet off, and was looking in some sort of discomfort. So Vandals definitely don't need injuries, but they are marching down the field here with the passing game. And just out of the reach of his intended wide receiver, that was number 16.
And again, Northern Colorado bringing in 4 fresh defensive linemen to rush the passer. Idaho now makes some changes as well, bringing their fullback out. Looking to go probably one back, 4 receivers, which they do.
That last ball intended for Davion Superales, as Wagner gonna try and throw it over to the sideline. He catches it. A good gain there to make it 3rd and manageable.
Well, and that's a tough throw. That's a throw with a receiver coming back to the sideline. Look at his look at his release point. Look at that throwing. These are big time throws. This will give this coaching staff a little bit of hope that, hey, this kid's going to be okay. He's just got to continue to play. He's got to get reps.
A catch made by Osborne. So Wagner and company trying to get this 3rd down conversion, and it's just out of the hands of Nate Thomas. Make it 4th and 3.
Well, definitely 2 down territory now, 1 down territory. You've got to convert this. This is not field goal time. This is getting the end zone time for the Vandals.
Under 10 minutes left to play here in this ball game. A 17-point Northern Colorado lead. 4th and 3 for Jack Wagner. He'll look to throw, trying to get it over the top. He does. Great catch, and he's breaking tackles. Davion Superales with 2 big catches so far on this drive, and that one a huge one to get a 1st down.
Yeah, nice effort as we have looks like a cramp, hopefully just a cramp here. The Northern Colorado defender.
Also a flag down on the play too.
The results of the play is a completed pass for a 1st down. There is no foul on the play.
So they waved off that penalty. But we do have a Northern Colorado Bear hurt over by midfield. And that'll send us to break as we help the injured player it out. 42-25, Northern Colorado on top. College football on SWX is brought to you in part by ServPro of Spokane County. If your home or business is ever damaged by fire, water, or an unexpected incident, trust the pros at ServPro of Spokane County to make like it never even happened happen. Back out here, 1st and 10 as you see Emerson Cortez Menjivar kind of nursing a injury. He was injured on this drive here as Rocco Koch is in at quarterback. He's going to look to throw, and instead he says, I'm going to run it. Not able to get a whole lot there, but does get a few yards on the carry to make it 2nd and 7. 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, and just as important, able to get out of bounds. At least stop the clock for a couple seconds here. They need to probably pick up a little less substitution, pick up their tempo here a little bit. As that clock already, play clock already under 15. They've got to get more possessions, which means they're going to need more time.
Koch goes out, Wagner comes back in. Wagner going to try and throw it over the middle, through some traffic, and it's caught. Great catch and throw, Noah Westbaranco with his 1st catch of the game. Wagner just threading the needle. Gets a 1st down, and they'll do all sorts of substitutions here, so.
Well, now they have to wait because they substituted. Now Northern Colorado can substitute, and they're going to end up taking almost 30 seconds off this clock.
And Rocco Koch in at quarterback. Looks like he's got Nate Thomas to his right. He's going to give it off to Nate Thomas. Thomas going to follow his blockers and in for the score. So Idaho going to make it interesting here. Pending the extra point, it's a 10-point game.
I think they're going to go for 2 again. Yeah, they're going to go for 2 here.
Try and make it a 9-point game with a 2-point conversion. Nate Thomas finds the end zone there, made it look easy.
Well, this is a very important 2-point conversion because 10 is still okay. 11 becomes a little bit strange in the scoring department.
Oh, here's the 2-point try. Wagner gonna try and throw it, and he does. And a great catch there by Nolan McWilliams to get the 2-point conversion. 42-33, things are getting interesting here on homecoming. We'll be back with more action on SWX. This portion of the game is brought to you by Perfection Tire and Auto Repair. Nobody beats perfection. As the Idaho student section looking for some stuff to cheer about, they found it. Now just a 9-point game here with under 8 minutes left to play in this game, and we're getting some Idaho Vandal chants, and this homecoming crowd is coming alive. Back and forth they go as coach, they need a stop here on defense, but Northern Colorado kind of lined up in this onside kick. They're just going to fair catch it.
Yeah, it's all bangs it off the turf. You're really hoping that thing goes about 12 yards and you get a collision. That time, no chance for the Vandals to get down there and get that football.
So with 7 minutes, 48 seconds left in this ball game, Northern Colorado's offense has been tough to stop. Idaho defense has made some stops though, so we'll have to see what the head coach Ed Lamb decides to do here.
7-4-9.
We'll put one more second on the clock. Eric Gibson Jr. alongside his running back. And he's gonna throw it deep over to the corner, and it's caught. Wow, great catch by Braden Monroe. Gibson Jr. just let it go, and that is all the way down to the 29, 28-yard line of Idaho.
And they continue to pick on that side. They didn't have any success first half against Reeks, and they've gone to the other side of the field and they've found something there on the sideline.
Yeah, Hassan Dalton in coverage, and Braden Monroe has been eating him up. Quick run by Justin Gwynn.
Well, this does a couple things. Because you get a long pass play, you get a first down. Now you can run the ball twice. Now you're in field goal range. So now, hey, let's run it down in a minute or two.
Northern Colorado going to take their time for sure. They've got Brandon Johnson next to Gibson, and he's going to hand it off to Johnson. Johnson is going to find his way, kind of squeak his way through to just about the first down marker. Make it third and very, very short.
If you're Northern Colorado, you want to snap this football at 1 or 2 seconds left on that play clock. You're in absolutely no hurry right now to get this ball off. You're in 2-down territory at 3rd and 1. And they don't get it here, you know what's coming in. It's that heavy package, and they're just going to try to pound it.
Yep, it looks like they're going to go ahead and take a timeout. So 42-33, and they worked that thing all the way down to 0 seconds on that play clock. So the game clock goes down to under 6 minutes left here to play as well. 3rd and 1. I mean, it didn't look like they had the big bodies out there, Coach, but
no, they don't. But still some effective running today, even out of their spread look. And just a quick thought here on head coach Ed Hamby. He's in his 3rd season, and he's 3 and 25, which is tough. But you can see the improvement. This is a guy that's been at BYU as an assistant. I don't know him personally, but I've heard he's a very good football coach. And he took over a program that was about the worst in the Big Sky. And what you see now, the talent they have, the players they have, the emotion they show on the sidelines, this is a program that's very close to being rebuilt.
Well, they bring out those big guys. Hank Gibbs is just going to try and keep it himself, almost a little tush-push action there. I don't know if he got it. We'll see where they mark it, and also the ball comes out. So we'll see. It was Hank Gibbs, the tight end, who took the handoff, and from that, we've seen Matthias Price run the ball, but they just tried to do a little tush-push action. And they're going to say he got the first down.
I think the second effort, again, I think this is the right call. I think he got, at the end, he pushed forward, and he had to get a yard, and I thought he got it.
So Northern Colorado just going to keep eating clock. Game clock is going to get down past 5 minutes. That play clock is winding down, as Gibson Jr. has Brandon Johnson to his left. And for substitutions, they bump that play clock back up. So time will continue to run. Gibson Jr. gives it off. And oh boy, that could seal the deal. Right there, a touchdown for Northern Colorado. Brandon Johnson finds the end zone, and that could do it. Still 4:32 left, but the Bears take a commanding lead.
And Brandon Johnson, not a lot of touches today. Boy, he shows some fresh legs coming around the edge there. An outstanding block on the edge by the receiver. I think the crowd wanted holding, but it was more of just a dominating block. Outflanked them a little bit. They were in a cover 2, but they brought the linebacker inside. So they had an extra man on that side, and just a great job by Brandon Johnson to find the end zone.
4 different running backs have carried the ball for the Bears. And that one was a big one to make it 49-33 with time winding down here as Northern Colorado takes a big lead over Idaho, and it's starting to look like they're going to spoil homecoming because a lot of these fans are already headed towards the exits.
Yeah, just untouched till he gets down a foot inside that yellow, quite honestly.
Brandon Johnson was not going to be denied.
Just to make sure, pick that ball up again. Because unfortunately, you see the fans heading to the exits.
4 different players for Northern Colorado have ran it in. Brandon Johnson, Kiarius Boone, Carver Cheeks, and Matthias Price. So we talked a lot about their passing game, which has been amazing. The running game's been just as good too.
It's been just a group effort on offense. And I apologize to the play caller. I don't know his name. I should have researched that, but I think the coaching on offense for Northern Colorado today has been just outstanding.
We talked about head coach Ed Lamb in his 3rd season. Offensive coordinator for the Bears is Justin Watershield in his 2nd season. On the defensive side of things for the Bears, Preston Hadley in his 3rd season. But Northern Colorado, they've got some good things cooking. And I mean, you looked at you talked about their schedule earlier, how, they played really close with South Dakota and lost in overtime. Almost beat FBS Colorado State. And they're going to have a big win if they can hold on to this lead with 4:32 left. Wagner going to try and throw it, and it is caught pretty good game there.
Well, now if you're Northern Colorado too, you just try to keep everything in front of you. If you give up a score, you give up a score. You try to run around offense, but you just try to keep everybody in front of you. You scoot your safety. There you see deep cover 2 here, 2 safeties.
As that pass is going to be caught and trying to get even more yards. A great catch there by Marquan McCraney, I should say. As the Vandals offense is finding a little bit of a rhythm here. Jack Wagner, these are important reps for him.
They are important reps.
Time winding down. Wagner gonna roll right to try and avoid some pressure, and almost had that one going the other way. He was trying to get it to Ryan Jazario.
Yeah, and one thing he's going to learn is sometimes throwing it away is okay. It's that old adage you've heard your whole life if you're a quarterback, you never throw late across the middle. Bad things typically happen.
So 2nd and 10 now. Vandals have the ball at the Northern Colorado 43. Looking for a score. Wagner's going to drop back. He's got a lot of time. He's going to roll right and just try and dump it off to his running back and gets a first down. Carlos Matheny with that catch out of the running back position.
Well, their biggest opponent right now is not Northern Colorado anymore. It's the game clock.
And a quick throw over to the left side. That's to Davion Superalis, who catches it for maybe a yard or 2. And that time continues to go down on that game clock as we are just about to hit the 3-minute mark. Wagner looking around. He's got a lot of time. He's rushed, but gonna get it out and over to his receiver, Jake Cox, but Cox unable to come up with it. And that'll make it 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9.
Well, I really thought maybe they'd try some more vertical stuff, try to get downfield. You know, maybe at least try to get a pass interference call on some kind of vertical route. Just this defense by Northern Colorado doing a pretty good job in the secondary, just blanketing everything.
Here's Wagner. Gonna look deep and, in and out of the hands. He was trying to get it to Marquan McCraney. But some good defense there by Northern Colorado's Cam Chappa.
4th down and 8. They've been trying to establish a passing game in the middle of the field. I really think you got to get vertical here and try to stretch this cover 2 defense.
4th down, Wagner looking, throwing, and that ball is going to be intercepted, and taking it back for Northern Colorado and trying to find a lane is, I believe, Cam Chappa, I should say. And that will put the exclamation mark on a great defensive effort from Northern Colorado as well. Cam Chappa, we haven't talked about him because he hasn't been tested, but the one time he comes up with the INT.
Yeah, and just, again, late across his body. Underthrown. Contact on the receivers after the ball's intercepted. And definitely a learning experience for a young quarterback today. Who will improve? Who will get better? Who will learn? Who will watch film? Who will continue to work?
As Gibson Jr. will hand it off to his up man. That's Justin Gwynn, who's going to run it. And you can see on the Northern Colorado sideline, they are very pumped up as they have silenced this homecoming crowd and have them leaving early here. Head coach Thomas Ford Jr. probably is going to learn a lot about his team and a lot of players that usually don't get to see the field too. You got to remember, they have a lot of injuries.
Well, they have a lot of injuries, and with the landscape of college football these days, you have to develop players at the FCS level because guys that are big-time players typically move up in the portal, so you got to develop these guys.
Now, it'll take us to our 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with the last 2 minutes here on SWX. Today's player of the game is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota on 3rd Street. If you're looking to score the best deals on your favorite Toyotas, come to Findlay, and it is no other than the quarterback and field general for Northern Colorado, Eric Gibson Jr. He has passed for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 21 of 33 on completions, and he is still running this offense as he's just going to give it off to his running back for a first down and continue to eat this clock. But Eric Gibson Jr., our player of the game.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Just really impressive. You know, Josh Woods is a good player. I think for what Gibson does for his team at Northern Colorado, I think he's the most impressive opponent quarterback I've seen this year in the Big Sky. Just really does so many things right as they get in there, take a knee formation here.
And that is exactly what they will do. In victory formation goes Eric Gibson. Oh, and they're going to, head coach Thomas Ford Jr. is not done yet. He wants to call a timeout.
Well, a lot of times that will get a coach out of victory formation. We'll see how Northern Colorado handles that.
And the Bears sideline is jumping up and down, and they're having their own little party over there on their sideline in front of the Idaho student section. Idaho in homecoming games since 2022, they are 2-1, and one of those wins was against Northern Colorado back in 2022. Their first ever homecoming for the Idaho Vandals was back in 1909.
Oh, wow.
These Vandals, though, are going to have to put one in the loss column here tonight.
Well, I know the Kibbie Dome, the P1 FCU Kibbie Dome is not that old, but my understanding is the field was still here in this spot, but from the beginning of the Vandal program, but wow, that's a long time ago. Football looked a lot different, I'm sure, in 1901.
I'm sure. As you see, head coach Thomas Ford Jr. took that timeout, so Northern Colorado, instead of the victory formation, will look to run the ball, and he gives it to Justin Gwynn. As give credit to Northern Colorado, we've been doing it. I mean, they have been stout and stellar, and the rest of their schedule, I mean, right after this, they're going to go on the road again to Sacramento State. You can see it there on your screen. Then they have 2 home games against 2 very good opponents, so that's when they're going to get tested for sure. But, I mean, these 2 road trips that they have to take are not going to be easy, so, I mean.
Well, when you're 3-25 in the last 3 seasons, 500 is a great way to go in the offseason. You know, I've been part of a college football program that was 0-10. We came in and tried to rebuild it over in Indiana years ago. And our first year, 4-6, then 6-4, ultimately 9-1. I will tell you, you look for any success, and then you build on that going in the offseason. It takes you into your weight program. It takes you into everything. And you know, I'm not saying their goal is to be 500, but certainly I think that man right there knows what he's got in his future, and he's got a lot of emotion and a lot of confidence on that sideline right now.
He's definitely got a lot of playmakers on offense, that's for sure, because Eric Gibson Jr., we gave him the player of the game, and he has thrown it to 7 or 8 different receivers, and he's going to try it again deep down the field. And I believe that was Carver Cheeks.
Yeah. And Coach Hamby letting Coach Ford know as politely as he can, if you take timeouts down is what you are. We have no choice. We're going to throw deep.
Yep. As Carver Cheeks was able to catch that one and wrestle it down, and
looks like he's cramping a little bit.
yep.
I wouldn't expect him to take a knee now either.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm looking down on the sidelines, and good to know. It looks like, yeah, maybe just a cramp. Carver Cheeks in good spirits there. It looks like he's smiling. As Northern Colorado looks like they are going to do a little victory formation. So just making sure they get the first down so they can kneel the ball and kill this clock. And you don't expect to see the Vandals take a timeout here, and they won't. So 49-33 is how this game will end. Coach, we were talking about Northern Colorado. For Idaho, though, this isn't a rebuild. Still a really good team, just a lot of injuries, and definitely something that they had to overcome, and they couldn't today.
Yeah, and you know, if you watch this game without a scoreboard, you'd think, you know, the defense didn't play that poor today.
No.
Yeah, you give up 49 points, but it was really just behind the 8-ball game, right? So regroup, watch film, learn, move on, right? Nobody's going to give you time to worry about it. You got 24 hours to celebrate a win, get over a loss.
So the Idaho Vandals will lose on homecoming. Northern Colorado spoils homecoming here in Moscow. They win it by a final score of 49-33. And that man right there, number 9 in the white, Eric Gibson Jr., was really good. Had a lot of throws to that man right there, Carver Cheeks, number 3, as the Bears come in with an impressive win to get to 3-3 on the season, 1-1 in Big Sky Conference play. On the other side of the ticket, the Idaho Vandals will lose, go to 2-4 on the season, and 0-2 in Big Sky Conference play. And man, I mean, any final thoughts there, Coach? I think we said it all.
You know, just an impressive road win by Northern Colorado. Teachable mistakes, fixable mistakes. Idaho's got to get healthy. A lot of the season left.
All right, well, for Adam Shackelford and our entire SWX broadcast crew, I'm Noah Schmick. Thanks to you so much for watching this SWX broadcast of college football. The final score, 49-33. Northern Colorado spoils homecoming for the Idaho Vandals.